Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. It's time for another Armaf fragrance review, and it's time for another hyped up fragrance review. Today I'm gonna tell you how I feel about the Armaf Club de Nuit Iconic. I'll tell you whether, in my opinion, this fragrance is worth all the hype. This is how actually the bottle looks. It's all colored in blue color with the silver cap. I really like the design and the coloring of the whole bottle. I love blue is probably my favorite color. As again, you have this sort of something like a spider web pattern on it. Really beautiful, especially in direct sunlight. Looks really nice. You got the Armaf logo with the fake crystal, and the cap is again very similar to other fragrances from the Club de Nuit line, with a square design and crystals. And then this is how the atomizer looks with the again Armaf logo on the top. Okay, I'll show you the spray in action, and then I'll talk more about the scent profile. I'll tell you what this tries to be, or people are claiming this to be. A decent sprayer, nothing spectacular, not too bad. Some people have complained about leaking atomizers, leaking sprayers. In my case, the sprayer has worked pretty well without any leaking. Now, let's talk about the scent profile. Now, when this fragrance was launched, it was pretty much immediately hyped up as a Bleu de Chanel clone. And I will tell you straight ahead that yes, this is similar to Bleu de Chanel, both to the EDT, more to the EDP, but I don't think this is a direct clone to any of the Bleu de Chanel fragrances. Okay, scent profile. You get a nice citrusy opening. There's a grapefruit note, a nice grapefruit note. There's a bit of a mint note in here as well, and some spiciness. I think there's a pink pepper note in here, what's listed officially. Compared to Bleu de Chanel, the grapefruit here is not as sparkly, not as fresh. If that makes sense, this is more of a sort of a dark type of a grapefruit note in here. But if you are familiar with the way that Bleu de Chanel smells, you'll definitely recognize the similarities between the Club de Nuit Iconic and the Bleu de Chanel. Also, this somewhat reminds me of a fragrance from the house of Afnan, the Afnan Turati Blue. Although there the grapefruit note is fresher, it's I think closer to Bleu de Chanel than here with the Armaf Iconic. Then on the dry down, these things become sort of a slightly spicy, slightly woody, slightly sweet type of a scent. You definitely pick up an amber note in here. You have a nice sweetness from an amber note. There are a few different types of woods that have been used in here. There's a cedar wood, sandalwood. There's a bit of a smoky vibe to it as well, like with the original Bleu de Chanel, especially the EDP incense note, in other words. It's slightly sweet, slightly smoky, slightly woody, very nice, very sort of a mass appealing type of scent. Okay, now that I've told you how this smells to my nose, let's talk about how similar this actually is to Bleu de Chanel. Now, the opening, as I said, if you're familiar with the way that Bleu de Chanel, all the fragrances from the Bleu de Chanel line smell, you'll immediately pick up that this is sort of carries similar DNA to those. But again, the grape, especially the grapefruit note in the Bleu de Chanel line, is sort of a crispier, it's fresher, it's sweeter, brighter, and in here the grapefruit note is not as prominent. It's sort of a slightly darker type of a grapefruit note. So I would say that in the opening, this is maybe something like 60 to 70% close to Bleu de Chanel, to the Bleu de Chanel line, especially the Bleu de Chanel EDP. I think that Armaf Club de Nuit Iconic is, if it's close to some of the Chanel fragrances, the Bleu de Chanel fragrances, it's closest to the Bleu de Chanel EDP. Now, on the dry down, this thing becomes closer scent-wise to Bleu de Chanel EDP. I would say about maybe 85%. You get that sweetness from the amber note, that woodsy notes in here, that slight incense note, the smoky note in here. But as I said, I don't think this is a direct clone of any of the Bleu de Chanel fragrances, although I would say about 85% close to Bleu de Chanel EDP. Okay, next let's talk about performance, and this is one of the strongest points of this fragrance. Um, Some people have claimed that this fragrance works great for them, gives them great performance. Other people have complained about weak performance. I will tell you my experience, and that is that this has been a super performing fragrance. Um, I usually get 9 to 10 hours on my skin with pretty strong projection in the first about 3 hours. Now, versatility wise, this is a super versatile fragrance. It's more of a blue type of scent, so it will work better in sort of a warmer weather, you know, like spring, summer, and early fall. But I think this fragrance has enough of a performance so it can work in winter, in colder months as well, and can easily be a signature type of scent. It's mass pleasing, it will get you a lot of compliments. So the whole scent profile and the versatility is top notch with the Armaf Club de Nuit Iconic. My final thoughts about this fragrance is that it is another fantastic release from the house of Armaf. Very nice scent, very good performance, great compliment factor, great versatility factor. To get you a lot of compliments, it can work in pretty much any type of weather and any type of situation. It has great performance and great projection. If you're looking for if you like how the Bleu de Chanel line of fragrances smell, you'll definitely like how Club de Nuit Iconic smells. Now, who is this for? If you're looking for a direct clone or one-to-one clone of any of the Bleu de Chanel fragrances, then I would say this is not for you, because I don't think Armaf tried to do a one-to-one clone on any of the Bleu de Chanel fragrances. But if you're looking for something that carries similar DNA to Bleu de Chanel, then you definitely need to check out Club de Nuit Iconic from the house of Armaf. And at the end of the video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the price. Now, I think this fragrance deserves all the hype that it gets, but I wouldn't overpay for this fragrance. I think a price somewhere between $40 to $50 is a good deal on this. If you have to pay over $50 at the moment, I would just tell you to wait a little bit until the hype sort of goes away a little bit and the prices go down. So, in today's video, I told you about my opinion on whether the Club de Nuit Iconic from the house of Armaf is worth all the hyping up. I hope that you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, stay safe, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye bye.